into a better place.
Well, hello. How do I work this thing? Hello? Okay. It's the first time talking into a microphone, so. My name is Cecilia. I went to school here about going on 20 years ago. Now, when I went to school here, I chose to be here because my home life was pretty wild. My mom, she had me at 15, and she decided that doing drugs was more important. Even without the drugs, she wasn't a very nice human. And she let me know everything that I wasn't on a daily. Sometimes she did it verbally. Sometimes she did it with her hands, throwing me around. Sometimes she did both. When you're that age, that's all you know. When you're that age and you're growing up into that environment, that is literally, you believe the people that have kept you alive, you believe what they're telling you. So if they're telling you you're a nuisance, that's what you are. They're telling you that you're ugly and unkept, that's what you are. If they're telling you that you're never going to amount to anything and that you're a bad child, that's what you are. Even if you're not, even if you listen to every single thing that they tell you to do, at the end of the day, their words are just as wicked, if not worse, than their hands. Now, when I came here, I was made fun of in public school. I did not fit in. I had one friend, and she actually got sent here for truancy, which is how I found out about this place. And she was packing up her locker, and I was crying because I had nobody else in school that understood me. I had no clothes, I had no pencils, and the teachers definitely made sure that the whole class knew that I was unprepared, which was humiliating. And at that age, the kids will run with it. Well, if the teachers are saying it about this girl, then I'm definitely going to say it about this girl. And I'm an empath. I feel everything. I feel all my emotions. I feel your emotions. I feel all of that. And I grew up thinking that was a weakness, that I was emotional, that I was crazy, that I didn't belong. But now I grow up and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like I can relate to you. I can relate to you, and that's a wonderful thing. And if I didn't go through the things that I went through, then I might not have been able to relate. Then I might have been the one pointing my finger. That I might have been the one to sit here and to break you down. But I think every single person in this room is wonderful. I think that the life that has been put out in front of you is the life that you think that you're meant to live or live by. And it's not the case. So when I came here, it was by my own decision. I went home after I found out and I said, Mom, will you please take me out of public school? The one thing in this world that you can do for me is take me out of public school. And she did. Thank God. And I came here and I met the teachers. Miss A, Mr. U, there was a couple other ones I don't believe that are here anymore. And they let me know where I couldn't talk about my life in public school because they would call the authorities. They wouldn't care. They would just be like, oh, Children's Bureau, take her out, rip her out of the house, throw her into the system. She's also just a nuisance. I came here and I met people that go, no, I know your story because there are so many people like you. I know your story because I've heard it a million times before. So this place, while you might have stricter rules in certain areas, you might have all that, the biggest blessing that you can have is the understanding that your life's a little bit harder than other people's. And you'll find when you get older, like right now, I said, it feels like you're in it and you're in it for good. And this is who you are because this is who you told you are. And the standards for you aren't high in other people's eyes so that you don't set the standards high in your own eye and you argue and you fight and you tooth and nail trying to make something of yourselves. When you realize that all of this is just setting you up for an older version of yourself, that can do so much good in the world because of the story that you have. And the people that you think have it all together actually don't have a clue. We're all doing this together for the first time. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 15 years old, 25 years old, or 35 years old. We're all doing everything that we have to do for the first time, but the biggest foundation that you can set for yourself is the understanding that it's okay to feel the way you feel. It's okay to give yourself a break. It's okay to forgive yourself for everything that you were told that you were growing up and the mistakes that you made along the way. Everything's okay. Now, I had a baby whenever I was here. I was pregnant. I wasn't pregnant right away. You know, I came here and I ended up getting pregnant while I was here because I looked in love in all the wrong places. And it was with a guy that was 2 years older than me. And he was okay. He was cool at first, you know. But my mom, being really bad on drugs, needed somebody to do drugs with. So she offered it to me. I said no. But the friends that I had over, they were only allowed to be over so that my mom could hang out with them. She didn't let me do anything. I was locked in my room. She wanted somebody else to do drugs with, even if that meant my 16, 17, and 18-year-old friends. She laid it all out right in front of us. She was doing choreography to be a stripper. She wanted to make her money that way, and she wanted to do the drugs while she was at it. She needed something to pay for the drugs, and she sure as heck wasn't getting a 9 to 5 or a nighttime job. Instead, no, she thought that she was going to go dance. I was embarrassed. She's up there doing her thing, laying out drugs, and there was nothing that I could do about it. This was my life. But you know what? It was actually a good day in my eyes because I wasn't getting thrown around. It was a good day in my eyes because my mom wasn't saying the things that she normally said to me. She was acting cool. She was acting nice. Sure enough, she got Hayden's dad to do it, my son's dad. She got my friends to do it. Some of them still struggle with drugs to this day. The girl that got sent here for truancy, the only friend that I had, she chose a different path. She just died a couple years ago from a drug overdose, and she just had a baby. There are 2 different ways that you can look at life and 2 different ways that you can choose. And it's like the bottom of the totem pole is yes or no. Yes, I'm going to follow this crowd, even though I know it's not good, or I'm going to say no, and I'm going to be the odd man out. And I'm just going to say, it's not for me. I might want to do it. Sure, it sounds fun. Sure, it'll be good for the day. But what is that going to set me up for going into the future? And that first no is the hardest no. That first no, just saying, I'm not going to do it, is the hardest, for sure. My mother has put things into my head that will never go away. She definitely has. But I have a new way to think about it. I have a new perspective on it. And I know it's hard for me still. My way of coping isn't drugs or alcohol. My way of coping is sleeping. I like to sleep because when I sleep, it all goes away. I love feeling my blankets. I love, cuddling with my pillows. I love dreaming, thinking about the things that need done that haven't been done. And sometimes that's depressing in itself because you're all by yourself and you're just laying there dwelling. But sometimes if you rewire your mind and you go, no, I'm taking a break. I've worked so hard and been through so much. If I want to sleep, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to do what I got to do. If that's my outlet to just chill and to just pause, then I'm going to do it. If your outlet could be reading, it could be running, it could be doing anything else. What you just have to realize what everybody has to realize, and every day is not the same, for sure. Some days are stronger than other days, but when I see my mom now, it brings up everything in me that I dislike. Sometimes I see myself in the way I brush my hair. Sometimes I see her in me. Sometimes I see whenever I'm eating food a certain way, I see my mother. And that is hard for me because she's taught me everything to not be in life. You can look at somebody and go, wow, that person, they got it all together. I want to be like them. Or you can look at them and go, wow, they're a hot mess. I'm going to do everything the opposite that they do. And that's how I ended up learning. I did the opposite of what I was taught. But in that, brings some bad, every good with bad and bad with good all the time. So when I think of the opposite of my mother, but yet I look so much like her, I struggle. That struggle is probably going to be with me forever. But I know that I'm happier because I chose to be. I chose to be happy. I chose to work hard. My son's about to be 19 years old. He's about to graduate. I'm still a kid. I'm 35 years old, but I'm still a baby. I still am learning things. I'm still going through things. I still have hard days. I still want to figure out that perfect career. I still want to be able to do stuff. And it's always going to be a struggle, but I know that struggle is mine and it's nobody else's fault. If I don't get up and I don't do what I have to do, that's on me. But forgive yourself. I used to call myself crazy because whenever I would get into a new situation, I didn't think I fit in. And I didn't want people telling me that first. So I would tell myself that because I knew my story was rough and I knew how I felt about myself was rough. So I'd be like, oh, I don't know why I did that. I'm just crazy. I don't know why I did that. I'm stupid. I don't know why I did that. I just suck. Right. But that just put a picture out there for people that didn't know me to think I'm crazy. I suck. I'm stupid. I'm not worth it. And that's because of things that I've been told my whole life. And I would fight them and I would look crazy, not physically fight them, but I would be like, no, that's not who I am. Once they formed their opinion about me because I laid out the foundation, then I would stop and be like, no, wait, you're wrong. Well, but Cecilia, you said this about yourself. How am I wrong if you're the one that said this first? And now you're fighting me in tooth and nail trying to convince me otherwise? So you are crazy. You look crazy right now. So the best thing that I learned was, yeah, I messed up. Forgive me. That serving. Yeah, I gave you a lemonade instead of an iced tea. That doesn't make me stupid. That's just messed up. Do you like it? Do you want a new one? Like, what do you want me to do from here on out? You mess up, you do wrong, you do things that you're not supposed to do. You can either fight it and make it worse, or you can be like, here we are. How do we not be here? I did this. How do we not be here now? How do we move forward? And that is not a teenage thing or 20s. That is literally until the day you lay your head down for the last time. You can be in your 80s and go, yeah, I messed up. How do we fix this? Let's not make it worse. Let's not fight tooth and nail. How do I turn this around and realize you're screaming at me because you're doing your job or you care? Maybe you're not handling it right. A lot of times you don't handle it right. My son, he's about to graduate, right? He has a full-time girlfriend, full-time job, full-time student, but the student part's lagging. That's for sure. He was told that as long as he didn't miss 10 days in a row and only passed English, that he was good because he's 18. Well, the moment that the guidance counselor told him that, I kind of lost the battle in getting him up to go to school, right? And like I said, he's great. He's a great kid. Love him to death. But I want him to go to school. I want him to get that attendance. So some days I would go in and I wake him up real nice, set the tone for his day. Hey, you got this, kid. You got this. Let's go. Let's work it. Let's do it. And some days I was having a rough day and I was tired and I had a lot going on and I have a lot on my plate. And I would go in, busting the door open. We just talked about this. Why aren't you up? Why aren't you doing it? Please, just get up. You're stressing me out. All that might be true, but I don't need to tell him that the way that I tell him that. We don't always get it right. We're all emotional. Even the toughest of us are emotional. And we don't always get it right. I walk out that door, though. I close that door and I'm like, what did I just do? I breathe it out, go feed the 9 million pets that I have, come back and go, hey, I'm sorry. I want you to have a good day. I know you're tired. We're almost done. And I try to have a good day with them. Teachers, parents, counselors, bosses, big brothers, best friends. Now, if they love you, they're not always going to get it right. But how you react to it is what's really going to bother you at the end of the day. If somebody comes up to me because I messed up and they go, hey, you messed up. It's cool. We all mess up. It's fine. But I just want you to know so you're more aware of it in the future. Awesome. Thanks. Cool. You handle that perfect. Hey, you messed up because, and now I had to do all this other work because of it and blah, 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 blah. Well, I have a decision to be like, why did you scream at me like that? Why did you do all these things? And I have a position that I can choose to be like, I'm sorry that affected you. Or I have a decision to be like, you're this, that, and the other. Now, at the end of the day, what their words said to me doesn't bother me as much as what my words back to them were. Sometimes when you react negatively, you're setting yourself up for now I suck. Now I think that I suck. Now I said all this. Maybe you feel good at that time because you're like, haha, take that. But at the end of the day, you're going to be like, I was mean. I messed up and then I was mean and I reacted poorly to it. That is never going to go away. Those struggles are always going to be there, right? But now I'm 35 years old and my mother at Easter, she's still doing the drugs. And my Nana just had surgery and everything. And at Easter, she decided that she was going to do drugs so bad that she was going to fall all over the place. She fell into the refrigerator and knocked the whole refrigerator out of alignment. It's a pretty decent sized refrigerator. She fell so hard into the end table, she hurt her back. She just wouldn't stop getting up, even though she was so messed up on Xanax that she could barely walk. And I don't know if anybody has a familiarity with Xanax. You don't remember anything. So you mess up and you hurt people that you love, and you don't remember a single second of it. Well, whenever everybody told her to sit down, she wasn't listening. So I finally did. And I was nice about it. I said, Mom, why don't you just chill? Let us do the work. Let us do it. You chill. She flipped. She started telling all of my secrets to the entire family. Now, I don't have a whole lot of secrets because I'm an open book. But the ones that I did have, I wanted to keep personal because we all mess up, right? We all mess up. And she told my son, his girlfriend, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, all the stuff that only a mother should know and a mother should keep. Now, I didn't react to it other than a really red face, mostly anger. I did tell her I didn't appreciate it. I did tell her in a very blunt tone to stop. I got into the car, I bawled my eyes out. I cried so hard. I'm 35 years old. I have my own life to live. I keep to myself. I pay my own bills. I do my own thing. I have my own priorities. I have my own obligations. But that human whom I still care about will still always have one up on me in her own mind. And in some ways, all the way around. She texted me last night asking me my HBO password so that she could watch a little TV on her phone. I didn't have to give it to her. She asked me for $2,000 to get a vehicle. Now, she's asked me for that before to keep a vehicle, and I gave it to her. Said she was going to pay me back. Told the whole family she was going to pay me back. She didn't. I did it one time because if you do one thing for somebody and you know you do it, could have been my last $2,000. I gave it to her. She asked me again. She didn't pay me back. I said no. Respectfully, I say no. I don't owe my mother anything. You guys don't owe anything to anybody that's hurt you, but you owe it to yourself to try and to forgive the people that have no idea how to raise a child or to be good to themselves. My mother used to throw me around when I was pregnant. Now, not a whole lot of people knew I was pregnant. I hid it till I was 6 months. Not even school here. Nobody really knew. A couple people that I was in class with, that was it. She was sleeping with his dad. She was in the room next to me, having sex with my baby's dad. If she knew that I was pregnant, she probably wouldn't have done anything different. I was woken up by my aunt that walked in on them. And she told me, and I was going to sleep. I had school the next day. I woke up. She said it. I looked at her. And you know what? I think I shed one tear when I rolled back over, but I didn't even cry. It hurt, but I knew. All right, kid. I can feel him rolling around in my belly. I'm like, all right, it's me and you. At this point, I can still sit here and cry over feeling like nothing. Felt ugly, and I was. I was a hot mess. I have crazy hair. You know how much mousse is in this hair right now to keep it tamed? When it's not filled with mousse, it's about up to here. And when I was young, my mom used to yell at me. She used to be like, "You're so ugly." She wouldn't give me ponytails because she said that I would lose them. She wouldn't give me anything. I wasn't allowed to eat. The neighbors had to bring in food from their house and slip it through my bedroom window. My mom slept till 8 o'clock at night easily. And if she heard me even getting up to go to the bathroom, I would get the back of her hand. And she wore rings. She had rings on every finger, and I would just get one of these across my face. And she didn't care if I was bleeding. If I was bleeding, she'd tell me not to get blood anywhere. She literally didn't care about anything but herself. And I was all alone in the middle of nowhere with nobody around but a couple neighbors that tried calling the Children's Bureau on me a couple times to get me taken out of that situation. And I would lie. I would lie for her. We all have different stories. It could be your mom, it could be an aunt, it could be a grandparent, it could be a sibling, it could be you. You could have a perfect home life, but you choose the harder route. We all have different stories, but the outcome is the same. It hurts. And it's confusing. That hurt and confusion, when you turn 18 and you graduate, or you wherever your life takes you, that hurt and confusion isn't going to go away. But what makes it better is knowing that it's not permanent. And the biggest lessons that you have in life aren't the big things, right? Like having a child was a big thing and it was a huge lesson, but that having a child and that big thing didn't set my life into perspective completely. It was the small things that kept happening throughout my life. It was when I used to call myself crazy, and then whenever people would treat me that way, then I would cry. It took the bartender that was old enough to be kind of my grandma. She's the one that looked at me and goes, "Stop talking bad about yourself. You're doing this. You don't have to continue to live in the life that your mom set up for you. And she told you every day that you were nothing and you didn't deserve anything. Stop saying that to the new people that come into your life. They now have that mindset over you. If you mess up, you mess up. You say, oh man, I messed up. You don't have to say that you're this, that, and the other because you messed up. If you mess up, it's simple. Hey, I messed up. Is anybody here by choice? Yeah. Is it because of home? Just getting out of public school? Do you like being here better than in public school? Yeah? No? I can tell you that whether you enjoy being here or you don't, I mean, it's still school, right? It's still school. You still got to do it. You're still mandatorily sent here. And it will not be forever. There are multiple things in my life that are the smallest things that have led to the biggest outcomes. And one of them is a saying that I've told every single classroom that I've talked to, that this too shall pass. It's never permanent. How you feel about yourself. I have bad days. I have bad days where I'm like, Geez, Cecilia, why? Like, why didn't you wake up earlier? Now you have to cram in the million things that you have to do before work that would normally successfully take 3 hours into 45 minutes. Plus, you got a shower, you know? And like, I could sit there and be like, I suck, you know? And even if I do suck, whatever. Do I need to say that to myself? Probably not. Because what's that going to do? It's just going to set you up to suck further, basically. It's just going to set you up for that mindset of, well, I'm not capable of it. Now, if anybody in here deals with mental and emotional abuse, it's worse than physical sometimes. It's so worse. Those words stay with you. And then they don't ever go away. You're always going to have that voice in the back of your head. But the words that you say to yourself afterwards are the words that really matter. Even if you're brokenhearted, say you're thinking about a guy or a girl, and they broke your heart. Why didn't they text me? Why didn't they call me? Why are they talking to this other person? Overthinking, overthinking, overthinking. Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Or you can stop and be like, you know what? It's probably not me. It's probably just not right for my life. There's so many other things to do. And while it hurts because that's where your heart was set, that's where your mind was set, your mind and your heart are a direct reflection of where you allow it to be. You have so much power over your own mind, even if you're kicking and screaming over getting in trouble. I saw somebody get in trouble for their phone. I was guilty of that. I had a kid in daycare. Mr. U's taken my phone away more than 9 times than I can count. That's back when we had flip phones, though, you know? I could kick and scream, or I can be like, all right, if that phone goes off and it's daycare, can you please answer it for me and then let me have it? Can you please, you can react to it differently. But the person I saw that got their phone taken away, they were screaming pretty good, saying things that, were pretty harsh. That's one way to handle it. But that way is just going to stress you out even more. I had a customer the other day flip out on me for something that had nothing to do with me at all. Now, I still bartend, but I also have a 9-to-5 job, and then I go and I bartend because it's good money. I just bartend right across the street here. And this woman comes in. She was so mad that she didn't have this whole room to herself for this party she was putting on, right? And I was the first worker that she saw. So she came, and my shift just started. She came right up on me, flipping out, shaking, and everything else. Oh, you know how bad I wanted to tell her to like chill out? I wanted to tell her so bad, like, what are you doing right now? Why are you yelling at me? And instead, I let her vent. I let her get it all out. I just was her punching bag. I was just like, okay, yep. Yep. All right. Now that that's said and done, I said, this is like a don't shoot the messenger kind of moment. And I got my whole shift ahead of me, and I'm really not trying to be in a bad mood. So help me help you kind of a situation. And that woman thanked me at the end of the day, and she tipped me $70. I was like, okay, cool. I could have turned around and been like, you're a jerk. You're a jerk and you're ruining my night and I don't want anything to do with you. Figure it out yourself. But instead, I let her vent because I knew that she was stressed out. I knew that's where she was in her life. And then at the end of the day, I got rewarded. And that's all it is. The only thing that you have to deal with is your own mind, your own control, and your own thoughts and how you treat people. And everything you've been through in your life, this too shall pass. Every time that you sit there and you want to say something bad about yourself, you can literally stop yourself. Full thought. I suck, I suck, I suck. What are you telling yourself? You can believe that you suck, and at the end of the day, you stop. I don't suck. And just say that. Whatever you're saying, say the opposite. Whatever you're going through, if you're fighting tooth and nail, stop and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sorry. That's for the rest of your life. That's not an Adelphi thing. That's forever. That is human. That's the human nature. This too shall pass. I think I'm running over now, though. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Sorry for rambling. Thank you.